at 17. Back in jail with no bail at 19. Up the road with a life at 20. Made my first 100,000 at 23. Now who is he or who is she to speak on my name when you ain't me? Why they talking I'm overseas? Biggie Smalls when I move it was all a dream. Keep on talking and pump me up. Call me lucky, I guess I got dummy luck. Give it a play and then this time, better believe he gon' it up. Hey, he might snitch on YouTube. Say that you was up and put that on YouTube. Why you always rapping about it that you do? Why you always rapping about it that you do? Hey, if it's up like that, it's up like that. If it's up like that, it's up like that.
Sometimes my feelings are sometimes I can't even give.
With Chesapeake Bay gleaming in the distance, we are inside M&T Bank Stadium near the Inner Harbor in Baltimore, Maryland. Today we hit double digits, week 10, and we've got a good one in store, as it'll be the Cleveland Browns taking on the Baltimore Ravens. The shadows starting to get a bit longer. Week 10 of the NFL season is here, and we're underway on EA Sports. And we will not get a run back here to start. It's a touchback, and it will come out to the 25.
Ready?
They'll start with a run by Mitchell. And this will be a gain of 5 as he gets it to the 30. Well, this defense for the Browns, they were excellent a week ago in the victory over Arizona.
And how'd you like to be the quarterback reviewing the game tape from last week and seeing this defense on the spot on almost every snap? If the ball was in the air, they took it away. If the ball was pop free, they picked it up. 5 takeaways in last week's game.
And he'll scratch out only about a yard up to the 32. Third play of this opening drive as they're looking at a 3rd and 3. Now it's Jackson. He's got his running back out of the backfield. And he goes out of bounds just shy of the 35. 12 yards to pick up there. Good for a Raven first.
Well, he was a busy man out of the backfield a week ago. They got the ball early and often. I have no doubt in my mind that he'll be a big part of the game plan here as well.
On 1st and 10, it's Jackson. That's another one complete to Mitchell. This will be stopped about 2 yards shy of the marker. 8-yard gain, 2nd and 2. The Ravens at 5-4 now on the year. Now, they were losers last time out, trying to turn things around here in this one.
And it always helps to have a home crowd behind you, giving you encouragement as long as you give them something good to cheer about. So you know they just want to come out and play well for their faithful, and I expect them to do just that.
2 yards to go, 2nd down. Here's Jackson. Oh, the ball comes out on the hit, but they'll say it's incomplete.
One thing that you're going to see from this offense is that they love the matchup with their wide receivers against this secondary. That one wasn't successful, but don't expect them to back away from attacking all game long.
After the incompletion, here now, 3rd and 2. They go play action now. Jackson. All right, rifles one, and that's going to be intercepted. Picked off by Anthony Walker. And he'll get it all the way down inside the 35-yard line. Well, it's no secret he's had trouble this year with interceptions, and this is a bad start for him. First drive, throwing another pick.
No matter who's broadcasting his game, that's how the conversation begins. Throwing too many interceptions. Can he take care of the football? If I were his backup, I'd be edging towards the coaches and saying, hey, how about giving me an opportunity?
On 1st down, they'll run with Chubb. A pickup of about 3 yards as he's taken down at the 31. Well, these two teams met in Cleveland earlier in the year with the Browns coming out on top. So a win here in Baltimore would give them the season sweep. Snap will come from the 31 on 2nd and 7. Now it's Watson. going to be incomplete. Amari Cooper, his intended receiver, and it's third down.
Look at this Baltimore defense.
It's a unit that has had all sorts of issues against the pass. Dead last in the NFL, number 32 in the league.
That was a nice play right there, but overall this season it's been an absolute disaster. A total lack of communication on the back end. They need a leader who can put this team, this unit, on his shoulder pads and carry them to the right spots.
Throwing on third down, Watson. Nowhere to turn here, and he's going to go down. Back at about the 37-yard line.
Da-Heathin showing off the pass rush skills.
Badgley able to knock this one through, and the Browns are out to a 3-0 lead.
Well, it's not the touchdown that they wanted, CD, but still, they got to be pretty happy here. You steal the ball away from them on their opening possession, and you turn that into the early 3-0 lead.
Yeah, you painted the picture perfectly there, all the things that have gone on. And the important thing, other than the lead, of course, is as you described, both sides of the ball now have some momentum.
The Baltimore offense at the line, set to get going.
Their second drive here, the ballgame, Charles. Remember last time they threw the interception, but the defense held up. It bent a little but didn't break, only giving up the 3 points.
Yeah, obviously they left some points on the table there the last time out, but boy, they have to thank their defense for holding the opposition just 3 after they threw the pick. Their turn now, back out on the field, put together a good drive and get some points of their own.
So here's a 1st and 10 at the 38.
First down, here's Mitchell.
And that one goes for about 6 as he's taken down just shy of the 45.
From the 44-yard line, here's a 2nd and 4. Jackson going to change things up a bit.
Here's Jackson looking to throw on 2nd down. It's a pickup of 6.
You know, when we call a game, we talk about Lamar Jackson and his speed and his elusiveness and the ability to get him on the ground, how tough that is for a defense. But how about his development as a thrower, as a professional?
Play action. Now Jackson.
Open man downfield is Duvernay.
And he'll have it in the red zone before he crosses over out of bounds. A big play on the catch and run, covering 34 yards.
Despite writing it down on my notes, I never give enough credit to the offensive line, and we have to here. The protection, that's what made this play a success. Quarterback had to wait for his crossing route to develop, and that takes a little bit of extra time. Excellent job by the big players up front.
Another nice gain, 13 yards that time, and another 1st down.
How about the way they're moving the ball down the field? They had a big play a moment ago, followed it up with another nice one here, and before you know it, they're already looking at 1st and goal.
Hey, Alpha, come on! Hey! Yo!
And now an audible here into something else. Mitchell fighting, but he won't get too far. Maybe a yard, that's all, down to the 2.
From the 2 now, 2nd and goal.
Mitchell again.
And he will take it in for a Ravens touchdown. A great effort there.
Hitting double digits with his 10th rushing touchdown on the year. And the Ravens have answered that early field goal to take a first quarter lead. So it's a pretty good season he's putting together running the football. That now 10 rushing touchdowns on the year.
And we know this is a passing league, and those numbers throwing the football, they seem to go up and up every year. But there's still something to have a reliable back you can count on in the red zone to bring things home for you. And that's what he's been doing all season long.
Tucker now to kick it away following the touchdown.
Well, from deep in the end zone, he's going to bring this out. And in hindsight, probably should have taken a knee as he only gets this out to the 16-yard line.
The Cleveland offense ready to go. And, Charles, if the season ended today, and it's not going to, we still have December left, early in November, but they would be a wild card team, and that's great. They'd be in the playoffs, but you know they're trying to bump up to be one of those division leaders.
That guarantees you at least one home game in the playoffs, and that's what you're really seeking. But there also isn't much margin for error for this team, right? Because right where they're sitting, a 2-game losing streak could have them out of the playoffs, so they've got to make sure they continue to keep the momentum going.
Absolutely. There's some sharks smelling blood in the water behind them. Now a play fake, and it's Watson. And he finds his target. It's Marquise Goodwin. And he'll have it past midfield almost to the 40 before being taken down. 33 yards that time.
Well, partner, I'm not sure how this drive's going to end, but how about the way they flip field position there? A nice attacking play that picked up a heck of a chunk of yardage.
So the big play gets him across midfield now for 1st and 10. Now Chubb running right. And it's a fumble. And it's picked up by the Ravens. And his guys are going to take over at the 34-yard line. And a little careless there, Charles, on that carry.
And it's not just having 2 hands on the ball. It's tucking it away. It's using your body to keep people shielded off. It's so many different things into taking care of it and having ball security. In that case, though, we didn't see it happen.
They'll start with the option. Here's Mitchell now to kick off the drive. And strong running there as he's across midfield and down to the 49.
An excellent way to start the drive there, 18 yards.
Well, they came into this game saying it was important that they set the tone and show that they can run the football. I believe that they've done that here in the first quarter.
Jackson on 1st down. He completes it to Beckham. And he takes this just a few yards shy of the red zone before going out.
Another 1st down there as this one goes for 25.
And a good quarterback facing zone coverage. If he has just a little bit of time to survey the scene, that's what's going to happen.
No doubt about it. If there's no pressure, he's going to continue to pick them apart because he'll have all that time to find someone open downfield. He can only cover for so long. So maybe they want to go to a zone blitz scheme, get a little bit more pressure. Remember when Carolina did that against Denver? They lost the game ultimately. They dropped the defensive end out, and he ended up with an interception in that game in Super Bowl 50. Maybe some sort of scheme like that to try and get more pressure at the passer.
They go play action with Jackson.
That ball caught. It's Mark Andrews, the tight end.
And he will reach the 8-yard line before going out.
Andrews' first catch, good for a 1st down.
And this was a nice example of an offensive coordinator scheming his guy open. Just a little underneath route, just trying to free up some space, and it worked awfully well. Got him not just space, but plenty of room to run after the catch to pick up really nice yardage.
After 7-3 the score on EA Sports.
They'll run with Mitchell.
Nice pickup there. He gets about 5 down to the 4-yard line.
Hat tip to that offensive line. They're clearing some holes, even down here deep in the red zone. And that's a nice pickup on the ground on 1st and goal.
Second and goal from inside the 5.
He'll try again.
And he'll take it into the end zone for a Ravens touchdown. A great play there. With touchdown number 15 on the year and 2nd of the game. And they are able to add on to their advantage.
Well, fair to say they've got something here in this rookie running back, and he's in for the second time in the ball game.
And, Brandon, it's a position where there's often a lot of turnover, a lot of competition at that spot. But he's proven to them that he wants to be the bell cow guy that his franchise can rely on.
Tucker able to connect on the extra point, and that pushes the lead up to 11. Tucker now to kick it away following the touchdown.
Here comes the return from the very back of the end zone. And he'll be brought down at the 28-yard line, so the decision to bring it out of the end zone gets him 3 more. The Browns drive about to get started. Right now they're on the wrong end of the scoreboard, and that won't change if this drive ends like the last one when they had that lost fumble. So you have a feeling taking care of the football is certainly paramount right now.
Yeah, and it's not just the guy who dropped it on the last drive, is it? That means everyone who might touch the ball is getting the same message. Guys, ball security, paramount. Let's take care of it, and if we do, we've got a chance to put points on the board.
Only a couple there. It's going to be brought down about the 28.
When we talk about defenders, specifically linebackers, keeping their eyes in the right spot, he had that eye down the entire time.
And you know that's not easily done because they throw a lot of misdirection at you. They try and fool you and get your eyes in the wrong place. But you're right about that one. He correctly figured that one out and made a really nice play.
Now a third down throw, but it misses the target, incomplete.
It's going to be another frustrating end to a drive here. This offense, they've not been able to get anything going in this first half. And now it's going to be time to gather on the sidelines and try and figure out what's going wrong. Who has an idea? Who has a plan? Time to implement it.
It's taken to the 26. It'll be a net of 40 yards there following a 43-yard punt, 3-yard return, and the Ravens, they'll take over. The Raven offense set at the line for this next drive. That last drive, it was a good mix. Run, pass, defense on their toes.
And what really helps out in a big way is when you're doing the run-pass mix and everything's working, that means that they're guessing wrong every time on defense. They think you're going to pass when you run and vice versa. I would continue that, and when they finally draw a beat on you, maybe you mix it up a little bit, a little play action and throw the ball.
And will they maintain that balance? Time to find out.
Meanwhile, Jackson's throw into the hands of Andrews.
And he's taken down inside the 30. 13 yards as they've got the connection working. His second catch in a row, first down.
And that last throw right there putting him already over 3,000 passing yards now for the campaign.
And given where we are in the season, Brandon, you have to think to yourself, if he stays healthy, I think 4,000's a given. I think 5,000 is not out of the question if he stays hot.
From the gun, a give to Mitchell.
And he's able to get it to the edge of the red zone at the 20-yard line.
52 yards rushing for him now as his fine rookie season continues.
To throw is Jackson. To the right side, it's caught by Mitchell.
Well, the Ravens are going to be looking at first and goal as they move this down to the 4-yard line.
Just picking up yardage in bunches here these last few plays. They have moved right down the field, and just like that, they can be set up with a first and goal.
A shotgun handoff to Mitchell.
They're able to get a couple here, but won't get across the plane as they stop it right around the 1.
Definitely an important sequence here for this defense. They've had their share of struggles in this first half. They just cannot afford to give up another touchdown here.
Hey, Ozzie, sit up.
And they'll try to pound it in with Ricard. And he is not going to get in as the big bodies stop him at the 1. 2 runs in a row, but only 2 yards to show for it. The headlinesman was right on it. I think they got that spot correct.
Yeah, and so many times officials catch so much grief because of things that may go wrong. You're exactly right. He was on the spot, marked it correctly. Let's see how this plays out from here.
Another fullback dive? I don't know that you go to that again.
No. Fullback's block Running backs carry the football.
How about this Browns defense they've held so far? This is now 3rd and goal. They'll try to run with Mitchell. And he is into the end zone for a Baltimore touchdown. A great effort there. On his way to a monster game, 3 first-half touchdowns. And the Ravens are able to widen their advantage. He finishes off the drive with a touchdown run, Charles. Remember, he also had a catch on this drive as well.
And that's what running backs want to be in today's NFL, a complete back. 3 down, stay on the field, run it, and catch it. And he gets it done.
Tucker now to kick it away following the touchdown. He will return this from deep in the end zone. And he'll be brought down shy of the 20, so the decision to bring it out of the end zone, not a good one. The Cleveland offense ready to go. And this, let's face it, an important drive if they're going to get back into this ballgame.
Think about going into the locker room down 21-10. As opposed to 21-3. 21-10, a little more optimism, a little more bounce around the locker room, a little more discussion about how they're going to finish this thing off. 21-3, I think discouragement clouds that locker room.
Yeah, and I think a touchdown much bigger than a field goal on this drive. Just there he goes, left side. How about this? Nick Chubb. And all the way in. Touchdown, Cleveland. Nick Chubb with a lucky number 13 touchdowns now on the year. And the Browns are able to strike quickly here as they are in for 6.
You get in a 2nd and long situation down here in the red zone. I'd say most defensive coaches would think pass, let's bring some pressure. So this is kind of a tendency breaker here to hit him with something on the ground, and he'll take it all the way into the end zone.
Extra point by Badgley, up and good. And it makes the score 21-10. Following the touchdown, Badgley out there to kick it away. And no return on this one as the fair catch is signaled for and taken. The Baltimore offense at the line, set to get going. Good drive last time. Really effective passing the football. Do you maybe mix it up, now go to the ground game and surprise the defense a little bit?
I would anticipate the defense making some changes, but I wouldn't necessarily just absolutely go in the opposite direction. They're doing so well throwing the ball.
Yeah, well,
I wouldn't change it up until they show me a reason to do so.
So a 1st and 10 upcoming from Browns territory now at the 48-yard line. Off the play fake, here's Jackson. Well, that's complete to the fullback, Ricard. Give him a gain of 5 on the completion, and it'll be 2nd down.
Well, they've certainly spread the ball around so far, but they're definitely getting everyone involved now when you're throwing it to the fullback. Just shows how versatile this offense is and how everyone is a threat.
On 2nd down, here's Mitchell. And some good tackling there as he stopped up at about the 41. Just not a whole lot of room to operate there on that carry.
No, not at all. They did a really nice job staying in their proper places and not allowing any lanes to open up.
The Ravens on 3rd down. They've been okay, 2 for 3 thus far. Here it's 3rd and 3. Pass taken in by his big tight end. And he gets it down a yard or 2 shy of the 30 before he's out of bounds. Jackson to Andrews on that one. 1st down, Baltimore. 2 minutes remaining in this first half of football. We remind you in just a couple of minutes we'll get you to Orlando and our good friend Jonathan Coachman. Coach will run through some of the numbers and the next-gen stats from this first half of football so far. Line of scrimmage, the 31 now on 1st and 10. Jackson. Screen play, setting it up for Mitchell. He's into space past the 25. And he's going to get it down to the 14-yard line. 17 more yards on that one as they keep the drive rolling.
And when you're throwing the ball downfield really well like they have been on this drive, it's really a nice time to work one of the screen plays in. One of my favorite play callers in the game has always told me he starts every game with 10 to 12 screens because if he starts feeling the pressure from the defense, he uses their aggressiveness against them.
And he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage. He'll lose a yard there, and it's 2nd and 11.
An interesting and intriguing decision there defensively because they kept extra DBs on the field despite seeing the multiple tight end look that came out for the offense.
I thought they were going to switch out of it. I didn't know if they felt they didn't have time or what the case was.
Well, in any event, the extra speed allowed for great penetration as they stuffed that one behind the line of scrimmage.
And he's brought down just outside of the 10 at the 11. 4 yards on the pickup there as they get it back to a more manageable 3rd and 7.
Well, they certainly had success throwing the ball in this drive and not as much running it as we just saw once again on that last play. Stopped after a very short gain. But I wouldn't abandon the run totally because otherwise, pass rushers just tee off on your quarterback. It makes it very, very difficult for him in that situation.
Play action. It's Jackson. Oh, he had him. He was open, but he couldn't get it to him. It's incomplete.
You've always been very good about checking my math. Am I correct? That's the first time that it's been incomplete when they've thrown it to him?
Yes, he had caught every other ball coming his way.
So they feel like they've got something really good going there, and they're going to continue to go there until the defense makes an adjustment and takes it away.
Well, they finally made an adjustment there. We'll see if they can build on that stuff. Still a little bit of time left here in the second quarter, but they do get 3 before the half and expand that lead.
And they have to be happy about that. And we haven't met a team yet that doesn't put an emphasis on trying to get points on the board in the last 2 minutes of a half. They'll be real excited to have those up on the board.
This will be returned from deep in the end zone. There he goes, right side. And they'll get him down right around the 25, actually the 26 officially, so a net gain of 1 there. The Browns drive about to get started. And with 8 seconds on the clock, really not a lot of time to try to put anything together. And he's going to lose yardage, not that it matters, as the final seconds tick away. Time for a break. We've hit halftime. 2 quarters down, 2 still remain. We step aside. This is the NFL on EA Sports. And we welcome you back now. Alongside Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin, getting set for quarter number 3 here. The Browns going to see the football first, but they trail here as we resume play on EA Sports. This will be brought out from the middle of the end zone. And he's probably realizing he should have stayed in the end zone as he can only muster a return to the 14-yard line.
In this position, trying to get back into the game, teams are looking for a spark from their special teams. That's not what they got, though. They got a setback, and they have a long field to cover if they want to try and put points on the board.
The Cleveland offense ready to go. In the first half, they struggled a little bit to keep pace offensively, CD, down 2 scores here. So how do they make some changes coming out of the locker room?
Well, they've studied what they did in the first half. They've seen what the defense has thrown at them. Now they want to have a plan of attack against it. So you come out, you're not going to get all the points back on one drive, but get started on it. Start chopping into that lead, and maybe it'll inspire your defense to help out as well.
From the 20, here's a 2nd down and 4. Well, now they'll try the end around. I don't think anyone in the building fooled right there, as that one is going to blow up in their faces. It goes as a loss of 6. And now 3rd down.
Well, we saw a lot of negative plays that resulted in plenty of lost yardage in the first half, and that trend is continuing here.
This offense in desperate need of a conversion as they come up on 3rd down. Watson. That is caught. And way up past the 35 before he's taken down. So they elect to decline it.
And why not? Just go ahead and let the play stand, and they'll take that.
Faking the give. Now Watson. Going out wide, finds Chubb. And he'll be stopped right at midfield. Back-to-back nice plays. 12 yards that time and a first down.
Couple of first downs right in succession, and this is an offense that could really use a good drive, and they're off to a fast start here.
And they'll let the quarterback keep it here on 1st and 10.
And he is across midfield from 149 to the other 49, a gain of just 2.
Anytime you decide to use your quarterback as a runner, most of the time when you design a play, you're expected to break a little bit bigger than this one, because when you run him on short gains, your risk-reward and him taking hits, I'm not sure that's the payoff they were looking for.
And he's going to be down close to a first down at the Ravens' 42.
105 yards for him on the ground now, as he has been terrific here this afternoon.
Not too many offenses want to turn down long drives, but when you're down what they are, they've got to pay it off with some points.
3rd and 2, Watson. And that will be incomplete.
You get the sense that they're saying we're not playing up to what we're capable of, and we're deep enough into the game that the early jitters are long gone, that they should now have some sense of continuity and be able to make some of these plays that they have not been doing so far.
I guess they figure they got to start taking some chances. Here's a big one in this 3rd quarter as he'll go for it on 4th down.
Work in the middle of the field, and he's got a man complete.
And he'll get this one down near the 20-yard line, just shy of the 20. A big pickup there, 20 yards as they convert on 4th. And that's what you've got your tough little slot receiver for, isn't it? Right there, those 4th down conversions in the middle of the field.
He knows that's where he has to make his living, and that's where he has to make plays to help his team. And no one is asking him to do anything more or less than do exactly what we saw there.
And some determined running there as he'll pick his way down to the 12-yard line.
Another nice gain. That's now 30 yards between those last 2 plays.
From down at the 12, it's 1st and 10.
Here's Watson. And that's going to be caught for a Browns touchdown.
Donovan Peoples-Jones.
A 12-yard touchdown grab.
And the Browns are back within a score.
That's a score you felt they had to have here in the 3rd quarter to get back in this game.
And you know that there was an emphasis on their side. Hey, we know this. We know where we are. But sometimes that binds you up so much that you try too hard, you don't get the score. A perfect combination of urgency, yet relaxed enough to get it done.
Extra point by Badgley, up and good. And that cuts the lead to 24-17. Following the touchdown, Badgley out there to kick it away.
Well, from deep in the end zone, he's going to bring this out.
Anytime you feel the kickoff inside your own end zone, you've got to be decisive about whether you're bringing it out or not. Sometimes that indecision can really cost you. That may have been what happened on that play.
The Raven offense set at the line for this next drive.
But Charles, they still have the lead despite their defense giving up a touchdown on the previous possession. And even though they have that lead, it feels like a back-and-forth ball game where to try to get momentum back, maybe they need at least 3 here on this drive.
I think you're right about that, Brandon, because your game plan doesn't change. I do believe your urgency does because of the last score that went against your team. So what you want to do now is have your own drive and try and make sure that that momentum stays in your camp.
Jackson's throw is on target to Duvernay.
And he'll be dropped just shy of the 35 at the 34. A pickup of 17 on a play that originated at the 17.
As long as as you go through your proper reads and progressions, the drag route can be one of those old reliable plays because usually it's good for a good chunk of yardage, as we just saw there.
And those guys like it, right? They can get the ball with a full head of steam.
Especially against man coverage, because man coverage, they're typically running away from someone and not worried about traffic coming out on the other end.
Tackle made that time by Dalvin Tomlinson. They've called his number a lot this afternoon. You wonder how much tread is left on those tires.
We certainly do, but I always think back to one of my favorite coaches in the NFL, and he used to have a meeting with his running backs every year in the offseason and say, look, as many times as you're going to carry the...
And Jackson cannot get away, and he'll go down. Well, Zadarius Smith there getting in and bringing him to the ground.
And we all know how talented this guy is who's calling the signals for him. But even the best in the game, they can struggle against a good, cohesive zone coverage. Can't find a gap in the secondary quick enough, and he ends up taking a sack.
Now after that sack, it's 3rd and long for Jackson and the Ravens. Off the play fake, he'll look to throw. And this is going to be hauled in by the tight end Andrews. And he'll be taken down, but not before they work it across midfield. The defense shaking their heads, not aggressive enough, and they allow him to convert a 3rd and 18.
First and 10 at the 47-yard line.
So a 1st and 10 upcoming from Browns territory now at the 47.
Yo.
Now Jackson. Into a sea of defenders and intercepted. Jonathan Abram picks it. And the Browns will have the football as this is taken up past the 30. So this offense moving the ball well, trying to open up a 2-score lead here in the 3rd quarter. But now potentially a play that could have big ramifications.
Yeah, you've driven the ball down the field. Things are looking up, but it takes just one bad decision to throw things off the rails.
The Browns drive about to get started. This drive here beginning probably with a pair of motivated groups. Remember, the offense scored a touchdown on their last time out. Looking to repeat that in Charles's defense. They were very frustrated after giving up 6 the last time on the field.
And frankly, it's just a battle of wills in a lot of ways because you know they're both motivated. They both game plan for this drive, and they both have specific outcomes in mind. To me, it just comes down to who can execute better and which side can step up and assert its will over the other.
2nd down, here's Chubb again. And he's dropped right at the 40. Gain of 3. And that's some good tackling there to keep him short of that yellow line.
Yeah, defensively, all I'm thinking is that on that play, get me to 3rd down. Get me into a position where I can make one more play and get my defense off the field.
They'll run for it. Here's Chubb. And he's going to have a 1st down as he's brought down at the 44-yard line. 5 yards is the pickup there as that extends this drive. Well, after an interception, last thing you want to do is go 3 and out, give the ball right back. They avoided that.
Yeah, you definitely do not want to do that. I remember in college I played with a really big-time player on defense. We ended up getting an interception as we passed the offense coming out. He told him, if you don't take care of this football, you have to answer to me later. You definitely want to take care of it and pick up 1st downs. He did a fine job there of not hitting him before the ball arrived, and I've got to tell you, you can often mistime that play because of the angles of approach. When you're going to get him, sometimes you panic as well and think, I've got to be there right now. Instead, in this case, timed it perfectly and knocked it free.
Now it's Watson. Trying to fit it into Moore, but it's intercepted. Kyle Hamilton picks it. And they will finally get him down as he's all the way to the 36-yard line. The one side gets an interception, but their defense comes on the field and picks him right back up by getting a pick of their own.
And I think you saw the same thing that I did, Brandon. As he ran off the field after making that play, we saw his quarterback seek him out and offer a personal thank you to bail him out a little bit as the offense takes the field again.
It's a 6-yard gain on the ground, and that'll make it 2nd and 4. And they're not going to get to the line to run another play, so we will switch ends as the third quarter has come to a close. We'll return with more after this. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. And the ball on the 30. Here's 2nd and 4. Jackson now off the bootleg. He'll dump that one off to Mitchell. And he will lose yardage here to the 31-yard line. It'll be a loss of a yard, and that's going to lead to a 3rd and 4 coming up. It looked like the defense, they were ready for that one.
Really left him almost no room to work after catching the ball. He could throw every move in the book at him. They were there, and they tackle him for a loss.
Hey. Go ahead.
Now it's Jackson. And he's taken down. This will be a Brown sack. He couldn't get away there on 3rd down. The pressure too much, and he's sacked for a loss of 12. So the field goal unit is on the field, as this is a big spot right here. This to make it a 2-score game. Tucker's kick is good, and that will extend their lead even further. So that's, CD, an important one here in the 4th quarter.
And that importance cannot be overstated. All eyes on both sidelines were staring that one down all the way. The significance is that they made it a 2-score game. Still lots of time left to go, but likely that was their goal to start of the drive. Get 3 points, make it a 2-score game, and they were able to get it done.
He will return this from deep in his own territory. He coughs up the football, and it's picked up by the Ravens. So they take over not only in enemy territory, but in the red zone at the 16-yard line.
And in our meeting with the special teams coordinator, we asked him, what's your philosophy on bringing the ball out? Do you give him a red light? Do you keep him in? Green light, let him go? Let's see if he changes from green light to red light after that costly error.
Yeah, you know what I remember from that meeting? He brought donuts.
I like him.
Yeah, it was great.
Yeah,
but he's not happy right now.
No, don't tell everyone how many I had. On any explosive run, you can almost feel the ground shaking, and that's from the offensive linemen creating space for their runners. I had an old coach tell me before, they always told his runners, run around the offensive line in pregame. Get used to the ground shaking so you don't trip and fall when it happens in a game.
And the stop will come inside the 5 at the 4. Give him 2 yards. That sets him up 1st and goal.
Well, it is our business to analyze what we saw out there. And on that play, I saw a defense staying in base, not taking a chance, not blitzing in a situation where they absolutely need the football back. That's either a case of overthinking it or not thinking it through.
If you do blitz, do you have to be careful about where you're coming from, or are you just coming from all angles?
You have to be careful about where you're coming from, obviously. But at this stage, you have to take a few chances as well.
And he's maybe going to get this back to the 4, but that's about all. They'll say no gain on the play, and it'll be 2nd and goal.
I don't know about you, Brandon, but I often think to myself, in these situations, I want a back who can create his own space, who can break tackles, and in a sense, become his own blocker. We don't have that guy in the game right now.
After getting stuffed on 1st down, not much better there. 2-yard gain.
Well, they made the play there, and I'll guarantee you their coaches and the other players are screaming at them about their pride. Come on, guys. He's already gotten in 3 times. You can't give up a 4th one. And on that play, they were able to make this.
And he'll get in. Touchdown, Baltimore. Taking it in from 2 yards out. And the Ravens look like they're going to get back in the win column as they extend their lead here in this 4th quarter.
Well, he'd been the workhorse on this drive, and it would have been unfair to bring someone else in to finish the job. So they go back to him again, and he delivers with a touchdown run.
Tucker with the extra point, and that'll make this a 3-score game now. The lead moves to 17. Tucker now to kick it away following the touchdown.
This will be returned from deep in the end zone. And he's going to be taken down inside the 10 at about the 8-yard line.
In this position, trying to get back into the game, teams are looking for a spark from their special teams. That's not what they got, though. They got a setback, and they have a long field to cover if they want to try and put points on the board.
The Cleveland offense ready to go.
Where we stand right now in the fourth quarter, this one pretty much out of reach. And, Charles, I know they're going to be disappointed about several things with this ball game, but the self-inflicted wounds, they've had several turnovers. You would have to think that's going to be something they're going to discuss heavily in the film session in the coming days.
You're absolutely right about that, partner, because they're going to have to sit in that film room and watch every error that they made and figure out how to not do it in the future. And mentally, I think a lot of the guys are already starting to think about, okay, how do we put this behind us and get better for the next time out? This, they'll use as motivation for the rest of the time that they play to hopefully never be in this type of situation again. Looked like both sides were anticipating a quick throw there, and the defense was ready to jump in and deny it, and they did.
The Browns on third down, 2 for 5 to this point. This is 3rd and 11. Out of the gun, Watson.
He's got his target. That's complete.
And he'll get this one way up just shy of the 45-yard line. A big play there on the catch and run. 38 yards.
And the offense is saying to itself right now, if only they were all this easy, because he was wide open. And once he made the catch, plenty of room to work his way downfield. That was a breakdown on the defensive side.
And he's free going down the left side. It's a foot race. And all the way in. Touchdown, Cleveland. Nick Chubb. He scored on the ground and through the air.
And the Browns have got it back to a 2-score game here in the fourth.
You got to understand situational football, because they're playing with the lead here late in the ball game. So the back defender has got to be as deep as the deepest receiver. Keep everything in front of you, rally up and make the play.
Yeah, you would think they had the 3-score lead. Now it's down to 2, but 3-score lead here late, that they wouldn't give up a big pass play like that, but they did. 2 scores down, 3 timeouts left. Still a chance if they can somehow get this one back. And this one recovered by the hands team for the Ravens. Fourth quarter, they felt like they needed the football back. Unfortunately, they couldn't get it.
And I know we brought analytics into the game, and someone has said here that the data says that when a team's expecting an onside kick, 80% of the time, the team expecting it, they do actually recover the ball, which is what we saw here. I just wonder if that number is much more of a anecdotal type of a number. Kind of like when the coaches tell us, well, when you score on special teams, 93% of the time you win the game. I'm still waiting to see that number is empirical.
Officially, it's a 1-yard loss. That's going to bring up 2nd and 11.
Brings up 2nd and 11.
They go play action now. Jackson. And intercepted. Maybe the turning point they need.
Picked up by Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah.
And he'll get this back across the midfield, striping down to the 47-yard line.
First down 10 at the 47-yard line.
Flag comes in. This might be a free play. And this one drops incomplete, but I think the defense jumped. And that one was relatively easy to see. I noticed that from up here.
Yeah, it doesn't take a whole lot, does it? Sometimes you get multiples. What I always love on these offsides is when each side points at the other. Hey, you did it. No, you did it. They deciphered that one correctly.
They give the Chubb out of the gun. And he'll get this one down near the 20-yard line, just shy of the 20.
149 yards rushing for him now, as he has been tremendous all day long.
Pretty explosive run on that inside handoff, and when you're a runner of his caliber, you don't need a big crease.
You really don't, but also what we're seeing is an offensive line that's taking charge at the point of attack, aren't we? Not only they're controlling the initial contact, they're actually utilizing what they call the strain, the next 2 to 3 seconds, to continue to move people.
He'll lose a yard there, and it's 2nd and 11.
Well, that was one of the few times they've been able to contain him thus far. He's over 100 yards for the game, but he lost a bit off his total on that carry.
Now a 2nd down throw for the end zone, but it's incomplete.
Give it big credit for his coverage right there, because when he saw the route break deep, he stayed in position to prevent a completion while avoiding any risk of a flag.
An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on 3rd down. Now Watson.
And that is incomplete. But the pressure there on 3rd down, forcing the errant pass. 4th down coming up.
I think it's safe to say that he's made some questionable decisions out there so far. Forced some throws into tight coverage. He's already been picked off in this game. 4th down now, but he was fortunate on that one, not to have another turnover on his ledger.
Badgley able to punch this one through, and this is back down to a 7-point game. All right, so they needed 2 scores to get back in the game. The field goal there, maybe not exactly what they wanted, but the necessary first step.
There's still time remaining, and there's enough time to get it done. They've got to get it the least a 3-and-out here to get the ball back, preferably a takeaway.
The Baltimore offense at the line, set to get going. And with 3 interceptions thrown already, we'll see. They rely more on the ground game here.
They may have to change things offensively to try and settle things down, not just for the guy throwing the ball, but for the rest of the offensive unit, because their confidence has to be shaken a little bit. And you just wonder, is the backup going to start to warm up a little bit over on the sideline?
They'll break the huddle, come up on 2nd and 8 at the 27-yard line. Now it's Jackson. Caught left side, it's Beckham.
And he'll be taken down after a gain of about 8, as that will lead us to the 2-minute warning.
Brings up 3rd and 1.
Here we go, 3rd and 1. Gut check time on both sides. They go play action with Jackson. And that's caught inside the 35. And finally down at the 9-yard line.
What a call there on 3rd down. Took conviction, didn't it? If this is incomplete, the complexion of this game changes dramatically. Instead, not only is this a first down, but it's a big play to boot.
It's 1st and goal, and a late touchdown at this stage could officially salt this one away.
Going for the knockout punch. They'll try and run.
And he is going to be stopped cold behind the line of scrimmage. Now the Browns will use the first of their 3 timeouts as they'll talk things over prior to this upcoming 2nd down play.
Once more with Mitchell.
And a carbon copy there, at least as far as the results are concerned, as he'll be dropped behind the line yet again. After that run, still a good amount of meat on the bone here for this 3rd down play. Can you envision them putting this in the air?
Totally. I mean, look at who he has under center right now. If you can't trust him with the football, you can't trust anyone. And frankly, to me, I want the ball down the stretch. Get the first down, keep it in the hands of my offense. I don't want to turn it over to them and rely on my D.
And he'll get it here to the 10-yard line. The Browns will quickly use their 3rd and final timeout as the clock will stop with just 70 seconds left to go in the game. So on 4th down, out trots the kicker in a big spot here. This to perhaps salt this one away. Tucker's kick is good, and that will extend their lead even further.
So that one, CD, going to make the road back a lot more difficult.
Oh, there's no doubt about that. You know they were praying on the other sideline for a miss, because now As you pointed out, a very difficult road. Down 2 scores. You don't just need a touchdown. You need a chain of events to go your way. You've got to score, somehow get the ball back, and score again. The odds of that happening, not great in your favor.
And the decision to bring it out, not a good one, as he's tackled at the 15. This is 1st and 10. Watson to throw. And that went too far in front. He couldn't reel it in. It's incomplete.
And let's face it, this defense has had its share of struggles all game long, and they know that they can put it all behind them if they defend well here in the 2-minute drill. Excellent coverage right there to force the incompletion.
Now Watson connects with Peoples-Jones.
And they nearly get this all the way to midfield. Mark him down at the 49.
Well, this game has certainly had no shortage of offense. Both teams have been revved up from the start. And here's yet another big play. Boy, both defenses have just got to be dragging out there because they've been run ragged throughout.
That's caught inside the 20. And he's out of bounds. Almost gets to the 10.
This play is a thing of beauty when it works as designed because they let the running back slip out of the backfield and head down the sideline on a wheel route. Number one, it's easy for him to get lost. And number two, really tough for the linebacker to run with him. And this ball's right on the money and leads to a big play.
So how about this for field position after the big play? Inside the 15 now as they come up on 1st and 10. Now, meanwhile, a pass that should have been intercepted, but it winds up falling incomplete.
With no timeouts left, that's a dangerous proposition. Work in the middle of the field. Fortunately for them, that one fell incomplete.
12 yards between them and the end zone. 2nd and 10. To throw, Watson.
And this is intercepted, and that should do it. Picked off by Marcus Williams. Williams now on the return.
And the Ravens will have the football as this is taken up past the 30. Well, field goals probably aren't going to cut it at this point. This was touchdown or bust, and unfortunately for them, it turned out to be bust.
Yeah, they're feeling like they've got to force the issue here. Maybe take some chances they wouldn't have earlier in the game. But give credit to this defense. They've really stood tall throughout, and they come up with the interception in the end zone.
So he'll take a knee here to wrap this one up, and he's going to want to keep that game ball. He was sensational. So the final seconds tick away in this Baltimore victory, and they were really helped by their defense, forcing 3 turnovers.
I think what we saw in this one, today's defense. And what I mean by that is in the old days, pitching shutouts was big time. That was paramount. But the big thing was holding people down, holding down their yardage, right? Don't let them throw the ball through the air and gain a lot of... But now, it's about taking the ball away. Taking away possessions, getting the ball back for their offense. They had 3 takeaways in this one, and it led them to victory.
Touchdown in the new town, I already feel that it's eyes on me. I'm getting looked up, down with these big frowns, they already thrown by the size of me.